recognized. Couple of quick items real quick. You'll all know we lost Mr. Franz. Tough pair of shoes to replace. And we opened up interviews, and Mr. Cunningham brought an employment recommendation to us. I've sent that information out to y'all. Parker Stone, stand up real quick for me. This is going to be our new band director. He comes to us by way of oath. I know we don't like to mention that name in here, but he already has a relationship with Lou Viafania. He was a drum major in Pope when I worked over there. The one thing, I love Mr. Franz, but you know, he's from bigger schools, and I wish him well. I know Parker Stone is from around here. His dad works in Fall City, from right down the road. I know his character. He's a great young man. And so, you know, it'll take a little bit of a learning curve for him, but he's in good hands with Mr. Viafania. And so our biggest hope right now is that we continue to move forward with progress. And I think we put it into the hands of somebody that I think is perfectly capable of doing that. So Parker Stone, thank you for coming to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity as well.
He's going to do us right. And then we have a small group over here. Not everybody can make it. Y'all stand up real quick. I don't know how many board members made it. The one-act play this year was absolutely phenomenal. These kids went deeper than we've ever been before. I was, from the very start, the first one that I saw, and it was in the gym over here. And I don't think the lighting and the sound system lends itself to a one-act play, but the next time that I went and saw them, it was just outstanding. One of the better ones I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them. Kids, I want to thank y'all for your dedication, sticking in there, getting it done. Mr. Heathcote, especially to you, stepping in a time of need and kind of picking up the pieces where they needed to be picked up and jumping right in there. Everybody from Mr. Lynn to people behind the curtain to the actors up on the stage. It was, look at him, there he is. So thank y'all, One Act Play, for doing what you did. We're looking for a little replication next year. Why don't we do this? I'm going to get a couple of quick photos. If OAP people would come around here, maybe board stand up where you're at and come in tight behind them, and we'll get a picture of the One Act Play kids. And then I'm going to get a picture of Mr. Stone here in just a second.
Yeah, he's going to have to get behind.
Yeah.
Come, y'all jump in right up here in the front. And you better slide down to the end, that way you don't block anybody.
How are we doing this? Are we putting our hands in the, or are we doing that? What are we doing? What if we go around each other? Yeah, we're gonna go. Let's go, Calvin.
Y'all pull a chair back, grab a chair. I can't see.
I think Jody should sit there. I think he.
Y'all put them together, and a couple of y'all kind of like that.
We sit.
There you go, ladies, y'all are in the middle.
I earned my chair. Oh, there's Jody. Right. What are we doing?
I like to separate, leave the space.
Yep, and put
Richie,
the board members in the middle.
There you go.
There you go.
How tall are you anyway?
6'4".
Okay.
I'm not a genius or nothing, but I think the tall ones need to be the one sitting.
I'm gonna get some more chairs. We're gonna get this worked out in a second.
Sit down.
Here.
There you go.
This is complicated.
There we go.
Well, Calvin, you.
Board members come this way just a smidge. Right there, that looks good. One, two, three. One more. 1, 2, 3. Looks good. Thank y'all. Are we gonna do it again next year?
Oh, yes. Senior to senior year.
Look forward to it. Darian's got this, man.
Stay next to us.
Where's Parker?
Right there.
Okay.
What was your?
Radio announcer, but I did
Mr.
LEDs.
Cunningham and Mr. Stone come right up here in the middle, and let me get one quick picture. I know y'all already made a post, but
I don't want to sit back.
Ms. Doogie, you might move over just a little bit.
I'll get tagged more over here. Am I out of the way?
Yeah. Look good. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no.
All right, good.
First question, Mr. Stone, do you know our fight song?
Not yet.
I was just thinking that. You should have played
Come
Come
on.
tonight. Come on.
It's my third day on the job.
She'll sing it for you.
CJ reporter.
I'll do today. I got you
All
later
right.
in here.
One act play, thank y'all. Thank you for taking the time. Y'all have a great summer.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to stay. I'd like to stay.
Y'all are more than welcome to stay if you want.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
The band kids will teach him quick.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. Nobody signed up. Next item on the agenda is 2025-2026 SF public comments.
Good evening. Every year in the past couple of years, we have to hold a public hearing to let everyone know that we intend to apply for the 25-26 SF federal grant funding for our title programs. Title I is funding that provides supplemental resources to help schools with high concentrations of students from low-income families acquire the knowledge and skills in the state content standards and to meet the state student performance standards. If you need a copy of this, it's on page 3 in your board book, or I have a copy of this for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. You're welcome. Our planning amount for Title I, Part A is $184,553, and it lists the allowable uses. And we are school-wide at elementary. It's not at any other campus, with the exception of homeless students. We do a reservation for homeless students that come out of that $184,000. The next one is Title II, Part A. That program increases student achievement through improving teacher and principal quality and increasing the number of highly qualified teachers in classrooms and highly qualified principals in schools. Our allotment for next year is approximately $26,000. This is where we do a lot of our professional development, comes out of that. However, some of the professional development that's mandatory does not come out of this. Since it's federal and the state requires us to do professional development, we have to use local monies in other places. And then our Title IV Part A, it's the student support and academic enrichment. It's to improve students' academic achievement by providing all students with access to a well-rounded education, improve school conditions for student learning, and improve the use of technology. And our allotment planning amount is a little over $14,000. I had a Google form, and if you logged in, if you went to the Stockdale ISD webpage or any of the campuses, a message would pop up and ask for you to take a survey. I did a survey link to each of the campus administrators, asked to share with their staff, asked to send out to parents, and so far it'll close on Thursday at 4 o'clock, but we have 15 people that have said no, that they don't have any comments after looking at this information, and then just 3 comments. 1, continue with what has previously been done. Paraprofessionals should receive training that is autism specific. And then it was just a question, possibly from a parent, would all 3 campuses receive funding for this, since it says campuses in the wording, and is the amount of funding in total, and then would get split evenly if all campuses receive funding. So Title I is specifically for elementary. Title II Part A is for all campuses, and then Title IV is for all campuses as well. Are there any other comments that I can utilize to have evidence that we did have this and made it accessible to the public to know about? All right, I have done my due diligence then. Thank you.
Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is previous board minutes. Those are in your packet. If there are no questions, I will entertain a motion to approve as presented. Motion made by CJ, second by Terry Dewey. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the financial report and Stockdale ISD bills.
The first page of the report is just our overview of revenue and expenditures. We're still lacking in our state revenue. We have two payments coming June 25th and July 25th that will close that gap of funding. And then of course our federal revenue is decreased due to SHARS, same story every month, that we're working with TASB now versus MSB, who was doing our claim reimbursement submissions. And I feel already just working within the last month or two that we are going to see more revenue coming in. It's very promising. It's not going to be what it was, but we do have House Bill 2 has a little bit of additional funding there that we'll get into at a later time. Below that is our expenditures. We're closing out the year, trying to get all of our open POs closed so I know exactly where we stand. We are overspent in transportation. I have a budget amendment that I'll bring up in next regarding that. And then of course our safety and security is at 4% because we use our Cycle 2 safety grant. Any questions if you're looking at those? Behind that is our May checks. I've had a chance to look at those if you have any questions.
Any questions on the bills? If not, anything else you want to add on that?
No,
You're
sir.
good? Okay. If not, we'll move on to next item, which is number 6, budget amendment.
I did print off a copy, it's pretty simple, and that safety and security money that we did not use due to Cycle 2 safety grant, I'm going to ask that we transfer $15,000 from Function 52 into Function 36. That's extracurricular. We used that function to purchase the microbus earlier in the year, and I had hopes that maybe we would have some cushion there, but we had a very successful year with our extracurricular between UAL, One Night Play, volleyball, that I'm going to need to transfer funds to cover the cost of that bus. The other transfer is from function or into Function 34, which is transportation. $22,000. Our contract maintenance and repair, that's why we were overspent in that function alone. I talked to Ms. Fiddler and asked her what the issue was. She's having difficulty with her DEF system. Even to diagnose the issue is costly, and we don't have the technology here to get those diagnoses, so she's having to take it in. And the other part to that is our fleet insurance used to be lumped in with our property insurance and came out of one function. They now bill us separately, so it came out of Function 34. So from our safety and security, I'm asking to move $37,000, 15 of it going into extracurricular and 22 going into transportation.
Anything else to add?
No, sir.
All right, are there any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget amendment as presented. You have a question? Oh, you just, okay. Motion made by Ruben, do I have a second? Second by CJ, all those in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
In regards to the DEF system, I have a guy, he just opened a business that,
Deletes it?
no, he does not delete it. He basically, a lot of those systems, when they're bad and clogged, you have to completely replace everything, and they go in, and you don't have to replace, it's a fraction of the cost. Like, it's pretty impressive what they're doing. So instead of people going out and deleting their trucks rather than getting a whole new DEF system, these guys come out there and drill it, and that might be worth put
yeah,
them in
passing
touch.
it on to Stiller, because I know she's having some trouble with that. To the tune of, we went 20,000 over just in
Yeah,
maintenance earlier.
that's crazy.
Mhm.
But he's getting, this guy with this technology is getting contracts with like the San Antonio Fire Department for all their stuff. Pretty cool.
Next item on the agenda is
It's better
20,
than what she's spending.
well, yeah, anything, if we can save money, anything. Next item is 2025-2026 budget update.
On Friday, I had a Zoom meeting with Mo Casey, our consultants, to try to finalize our projected revenue. June 23rd, budget hearing, I'll be bringing a budget that will change. House Bill 2 was signed. We don't have enough information at the moment to create a budget based off new law. So they suggested us to go ahead and adopt a budget with current law, and coming back in possibly August when we do our tax rate adoption, or maybe even September, October, and reading a budget amendment and adopting a new budget. Right now, when we projected revenue earlier in the year, when I started working on budget, we had submitted, last October, we submitted an attendance projection to TEA of 795 students, 88. We ended the year at 761. So TEA has very skewed numbers for us at the moment. So we had to decrease what our state funding will look like. We're going to base current law, our current budget, we're basing it off of the 770 ADA. Gives us a little bit truer state funding, which decreases our budget by about $500,000. I've been talking with campus leadership on what we can do to kind of look and see where, you know, of course, you have flu season and it just drops. And Sarah with Peens is looking in to make sure our numbers are being captured. I know they're having some issues with TSDS. But the advice I was given was to adopt a budget on current law at what we're kind of ending our year with, around 770. So that'll be June 23rd. I'll bring that budget, but they just wanted me to stress to the board that it is not going to be the budget we'll operate off of next year. We'll be reading a new one once we get House Bill 2, and House Bill 2 it has some very promising parts to it. It's just, there's not a lot of clarification, as in teacher raises. What kind of teachers? Are we doing classroom teachers? Are we doing teachers of record? Are we doing, we don't have that directive yet, so that's where the budget is at the moment.
So you're thinking in August you would come back?
We'll
Based
be
on
back
their-
in August to adopt tax rate, and be nice to be able to just do it
To
all.
do it all at once.
I just don't feel real confident that we'll have all the information we need at the time. But, I mean, we can adopt a budget then and then adopt a budget amendment at a later date. I would love for it to be August, because that's when we roll out next year's first payroll for our teachers.
That's what I was, if we could time it to be able to make those adjustments before the year starts off. If not, would it make a mid-year adjustment to the pay scale?
Well, the pay scale would be, we would have to start August with the pay scale that House Bill 2 passed. I just don't know what that is at the moment.
Okay.
There's a lot of other pieces that go with it, our pre-K and early education allotment, our safety allotment. I just don't have enough details right now
Okay.
on those.
Any other questions on the budget update? You said the 23rd, you're going to come back with the...
That's our budget hearing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. All right, next item on the agenda is high school Chromebooks, purchase above threshold.
The Chromebooks we have currently at the high school were purchased with ESSER funds and have lived their life to their fullest. They survived COVID. We were needing to replace those. We looked at going into a leasing option. EMAP funds, which were initially intended to purchase textbooks, when we had textbooks, we still receive those funds, and so Ms. Neesville reached out to them and submitted a reimbursement or a disbursement of funds to purchase Chromebooks as an instructional supply, and they approved it. It is going to be $96,862.50 to purchase 270 Chromebooks. with a Google Chrome education upgrade and,
Warranty?
no, I think the warranty might be separate. This is glove basic case installation asset. Maybe that's the warranty. This is from Lily.
That's where they come in ready to pass them out.
Okay.
We're not gonna have to get it all in box, so we'll just be ready to send it.
But they did approve those funds and they're already in our bank account.
For how many?
270. And the payments that are at the high school will be passed down to elementary. And our next purchase will be from junior high. I don't remember the year. We're 2 years out from having to buy junior high Chromebooks.
What was the total?
$96,862.50. And with those EMAT funds, it's a 2-year rollout. We're on year 2, and then those funds regenerate, and so we're using the last of this rollout's funds to purchase these.
Any additional information?
No, sir.
We will need approval because it's over.
Of course, yeah. If there aren't any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented. Motion made by Terry Dugy, do you have a second? Second by Ruben, all those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 9, ESC Region 20 commitments, renewal of membership in Walsh Gallegos Retainer Program.
I have the Region 20 commitments. It's just the annual renewal that we have to get approval for that. It did increase by about $8,000 this year. We're adding a commitment we didn't have last year for human resources for Rena. Because of what House Bill 2 and all the changes, I think it'll be very beneficial for her. Nothing else was added, it's just price increase. That total is $88,190.97.
And the other renewal,
Do you have the vote, Casey? I don't have them.
I don't have Mo Casey. I have the insurance. And
I mean, Walsh
ours.
Gallegos, I'm sorry.
Walsh Gallegos just came in today.
is that the one that they just sent?
They just sent it today, and I moved it on to the July
Okay,
meeting.
so we'll table that
Table
for.
that one.
Okay. Alright, so any questions on the ESC commitments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented. Motion made by Blaine, second by Terry Dugy. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is safety and security contract, RS Consulting.
This is Jeb Lacey that provides the emergency operation plan that will format those and get those sent into the Texas School Safety Center. I think we budgeted about $9,000 last year for RS Consulting once we got him on board. He did not bill for that total amount. He was more in the $6,000 and some change range, but had a little bit of cushion built in there. We are probably, odds are, and it increases every year, that district vulnerability assessment. Odds are we're probably going to have that this upcoming year, and so having him on board is vital. But I have that agreement here that requires my signature, but I wanted to run it through the board and make sure y'all are good continuing that agreement.
Any concerns or questions? Do you have any concerns with what
No,
the service we're getting from him?
I don't. He has shown up for all the safety and security meetings, contacts me regularly when we get in those, and a lot of the emergency operations plans get turned back to you with a small change in verbiage, and he takes those and in a timely manner gets them resubmitted and approved for us, gives me updates and things of that nature. So yeah, it's a big weight off of my shoulders having him on board.
You said you can sign that one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Move on to the next.
Go ahead and do approval on the,
Just to be on the safe
yep,
side?
just to be on the safe
Okay,
side.
we can do that. If there are any questions on the safety and security contract, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented. Motion made by CJ, second by Ruben. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is student accident insurance.
We had one more quote that we needed to get in. At this time, I have 3 quotes. One from a previous partner, the brokerage store, one from Players Health, and one from HSR. Kind of a little bit of history. When I first got here, we were with Monarch. and there was a little bit of a change in their leadership. We got in a quote, paid for that quote, and then got an additional invoice in for $1,500 more. Come to find out, that was the man that just signed kind of filled out the paperwork. That was his fee. And so at that point, we moved over to the brokerage store. We did go out and get quotes. What we've been doing with the brokerage store works very well, and they've maintained their cost. It's in real similar to both of these other plans, but we're happy with the brokerage store. My recommendation would be to approve their use in the 25-26 school year.
It's 2 years.
2 years, thank you.
Any increase in cost or?
When they do it, it's always with a 2-year rate guarantee.
Have you looked at that, Terry?
I glanced at it.
Okay. Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented. Motion made by Blaine, second by Tate Digi. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Next item is item 12, the 2025-26 Stockdale ISD Professional Learning Plan.
Hello again. According to board policy, we're supposed to present a professional development plan or professional learning plan to the board for approval for each school year. I did my best. It's on page 38, I believe, in your board book, or here's a little copy for your reference.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I did make a couple of updates. Our CPI training is no longer CPI, it's CRT. I took out a couple of trainings that we no longer need. I did, according to Billy, y'all are supposed to have the cybersecurity awareness every year. So I added that to this as well. So starting July 1 or a little after July 1, these will be pushed out to you in Vector Solutions. According to campus needs assessments, I know high school had wanted some training on Eduporia as well as AI and a couple of other things. There's some things that I did not put on here because I don't have that yet, but as we needed, we will do our best to be in compliance with what board policy says we have to have. So this is fun.
So you actually stop the bleed as well as severe bleeding response, wound packing, and tourniquet. It's not. Do you have to do both?
Yes, because the way that we do stop the bleed, they can watch a video and then we do the bleed rotations separate. So the video is in lieu of somebody training because our rotations has a maximum of like 10 people per rotation. So it's easier for people to watch the video, and when they go and do hands-on, they have questions and they do the hands-on part for that.
And Mr. Johnson and Ms. Lambic, I believe your cybersecurity training certificate is in front of you, and I highlighted a little corner in the bottom right. If you'll initial that, and then I'll get that to Ms. Uchigamba.
Was that the last one or was it Terry?
Hot outside, isn't it?
You're being recorded.
Hot outside.
Oh, that's new.
Any additional information on the learning plan?
No, sir. It's extensive, but it covers all of the legal
And who
requirements.
knows what additional things we will have with the,
Looks like you better start.
I did send y'all, I think, a tentative date for all of us as a board to get together with over legislative updates as a PD, which ties into this. So back over at Floresville, how we did that time, we went to the cafeteria, and it'll be Poth and Nixon, and I'm not Nixon, but Lavernia and Floresville all together. Thank you, Ms. Muchigamba.
If there aren't any questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the learning plan as presented. Motion made by Blaine, second by CJ. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is policy update 125 for these various legal and local policies.
All right, just an overview according to TASB for policy update 125. It includes revisions to legal framework documents based on regulatory changes, including amendments to the Texas Administrative Code. Changes to local policies offered for consideration address the following topics: election of board officers, board committees, advisory committees, partial academic credit, school safety transfers, and attendance for credit. You should have also received explanatory notes in your packet for a description of the specific changes for each policy. And then there was local policy changes. If it was in blue, they added the wording. If it was red and striked out, they took it out. And that starts on page 40 in your board book. And as far as any questions, please let me know. And then this is the wording for the minutes.
Those are emailed to us, right?
They'll have current in black and then struck out things that they're deleting and then things they recommend in blue. Most of the time in the local policy, they're rewording based on legal recommendation. It doesn't really change the method of how we do things.
Just language, like small language. Any questions? If not, I entertain a motion.
I move that the board add, revise, or delete local policies as offered by TASB Policy Service for consideration and according to the instruction sheet for TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 125.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Sherry, all those in favor? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Do you go into closed session?
Just for a second, you need to do 14.
I was gonna do 15 and then we'll come back out.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, I'm gonna skip 14, we're gonna go into 15, go into closed session. The time is 7:02.